everyone. Sorry I'm a minute, 2 minutes late. Perfectly on time these nights. I just was trying Facebook Live Producer again and finding that it doesn't work. It just says my camera can't be accessed. Then I try to switch to the other one and it says that doesn't work. Curious if anyone is using Live Producer and it's working for you. And if so, I have a Mac, like I don't understand. I'm in Chrome, I think I'm following all the directions. But anyway, curious on that because right now I would say not a great option to not be able to go live directly on Facebook, although a great opportunity to talk about why I don't go live on Facebook. So I usually use things like our Ecamm or StreamYard or one of these others, or Zoom if I was not looking to ask questions. So anyone else having any issues or maybe success going directly live on Facebook? Curious on that part. The topic for tonight is testimonials. So raise your hand if you have any testimonials about your business. I'd love to know just from those of you, and I know people are just popping in, so we'll get this going. But I would love to know A, who's here, and B, if you have any testimonials in your business. Just curious. So it's talking about testimonials tonight. No need to keep it quiet. We can just go ahead and engage live. And if no one is going to raise their hand, I will talk about the fact that as practitioners, we tend to find it very difficult to get testimonials. And it's not that as practitioners we don't deserve, we don't warrant, not even sometimes that we aren't given testimonials. It's that we have trouble receiving the testimonials. Hey, Sally, yeah, just getting started. Good. So this is a great conversation to be thinking about because you're in a perfect position to not fall into the mindset of waiting to get testimonials. So that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. So what I wanted to talk about tonight is, because I'm having a lot of conversations with everybody about what should go in your emails and also what are some of the benefits of our tools. And one of the best benefits is getting testimonials and getting them easily, effectively, and being really able to take them, right? Which is one of the things I was saying practitioners struggle with. So why do we struggle with testimonials? Because if somebody does well, we're so excited for them that they did well. And we're really enthusiastic and we really feel like that's the win. Because that's why we got into this. That's why we're doing what we're doing, right? But at the same time, we need to think about, remember, it's that difference of like our mission or why we got into doing this and, oh, by the way, we run a business. And testimonials are one of the most powerful ways to show, not tell someone, always love the show, not the tell, how you are going to help them. So here's what I want us to think about when it comes to a testimonial that can really reduce any of the ick factor that might be associated with it, is I want you to think about the fact that a testimonial is not about saying how you are great. It's not really actually about anything that you have actually done. It's about the results that somebody got working with you. And that's what we want to be showing other people. Because what our people that are finding us, that are coming to us, that are hoping to find us, and are finally being connected to us, they've had experiences, like we've all had experiences, where they've tried something and they haven't gotten results. They've been told what they should be doing and they haven't gotten results. And what we need to do, what we do best, is we show them how they're going to get better results. And that begins with using testimonials effectively. So in order to use a testimonial effectively, number one, we got to get it. And number two, we got to get the right kind of testimonial, right? So one of the ways that we can do that is we can use a tool. So for those of you that have heard me talking about how we have these ready-made programs at the Better Nutrition Program, one of the reasons I started to offer these is I realized, wow, there are a lot of courses and things that are out there that tell you how to create programs. But what we need are outcomes-driven programs, right? We need to make sure that we're getting the outcomes that our clients are investing in us for. Otherwise, we're not delivering on our mission, right? But from a business standpoint, we need the testimonials. Because what we want to be able to do is show other people, I'm going to repeat myself, show other people, not tell them how somebody got better working with us, right? So the way that you can use tools to generate testimonials is by using them in the exact way they were intended. They were intended for assessment. When you assess and you reassess, guess what you see? Outcomes. You see what has changed. You show someone what has changed. You are then able to show someone else what has changed. So you actually don't even need to ask for a testimonial. It comes up because you're able to see. Do you remember when we got started? Remember your digestion was over here? Now look how your digestion is. How would you feel about that? What's that difference mean to you? What is that difference? Oh, what have you done to create that difference? What made it doable this time, right? You can ask questions about it, but you're seeing the results there. So whether they're doing a program, which is an assessment and a reassessment, or whether they're working with you and you're using tools to consistently do reassessment, you're always creating opportunities to generate, you're always creating opportunities to generate referrals. So what you want to be thinking about in this part is you should never not be generating referrals. You should never not be generating testimonials to get you the referrals, right? Because you're always going to be assessing and reassessing and seeing and having somebody see themselves and then having the information where they could show you. You can see what has changed. If I started off with a magnesium evaluation and then I redo the magnesium evaluation, I am going to see what has changed. What did change? Did you start to include more of these foods? So you went from never to sometimes, or you went from sometimes to daily, or you went from daily to, or to never to, never isn't going to work for me, but neither is sometimes of this food. So I went over to a supplement. Or you know what, Ashley, everything changed for me. I've been taking this magnesium supplement, but it was an oxide, not a citrate or a glycinate or something else, or I was taking so much calcium. Look at what has changed. So we don't have to come up with what the testimonial should be. We actually get very specific information every time we do an assessment and a reassessment. That is the genius of building your business around better nutrition assessment. That is why testimonials become a tool for you in your business, as well as, of course, in your practice. So I want to talk about first in your practice. The most important testimonial is the one that the individual you are working with gives and shares for themselves. Don't forget that a testimonial is your tool later on when they might doubt whether or not they should continue doing something, whether something is actually being effective. Raise your hand if you've ever had a client who, first 6 weeks was rocking it and then got a little bit bumpy, or maybe the first 3 weeks was rocking it and then the next 3 weeks things got a little bit bumpy, and the next 3 weeks after that they were ready to be like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this, I don't really know, whatever. And you're like, come on, in those first 3 weeks. Well, you don't have to come on them in those first 3 weeks when you have the testimonial. When you inquire every time you do the assessment, you write down and you have them keep a success journal. Now, when you keep the success journal, guess what they're doing? They're keeping testimonials. And that's information that you can use, right? So getting testimonials should not be about some weird ick business thing. It should be something that is ingrained in our brains, that is showing us, that allows our patients to show us what changes they're doing and how they're improving. And also, by the way, what still needs to be worked on. And also is testimonial for themselves. Let them give testimony. Let them tell you what has gotten better. Because also you're going to learn what they perceive has gotten better, what they're really excited about. And when they're filling up that book with successes, and you can do what I do, which is give out stickers, or in this world, give out virtual stickers and be like, I'm so proud of you, right? We're collecting those things. And so we have those things. You know what? I've learned over the years, those are the things that come up in conversations that they share in the locker room or at the office or on a phone call or on a, in a conversation in a Facebook group or something else like that with other people. And those are conversations that get you clients and are testimonials that are happening all the time. Now, you can tell I'm extremely passionate because marketing our businesses should not, A, feel like a chore, B, should not be so difficult, and C, should be more effective. And I work with practitioners every day. I used to work with patients every day. I work with practitioners every day. And you guys aren't doing it better. You're making it so hard on yourselves. You're trying to figure out the algorithms on Instagram when you could be figuring out how to get those testimonials and how to use them effectively to market your business. So I will offer to you, they are ready-made when you start adding in assessment and you consistently assess and you get those testimonials. Now, how do you share those testimonials? Well, there's an art form to that, right? Because we never want to be thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, but by the way, can I tell somebody else because I really want to be working with somebody else or I want to generate more business, right? So there are things that you can say like, oh my gosh, like that is amazing. What? Like for the first time ever, Carrie, someone who's on our hormone health group, it was awesome. She was like, this is the first period that every time it used to be when I was waiting, when I was getting my period, I would have horrible diarrhea. I had really heavy bleeding. And I had, oh my gosh, as if that wasn't bad enough. There was something else that was going on, right? And so what we were, something else that she mentioned, she's like, this is the first time that I've had normal periods, normal in terms of flow. I've had normal stools and I've had normal whatever that other thing was, right? Well, she told our whole group, guess what that was? A testimonial. Guess what I didn't do? Hey, Carrie, can I go tell the public about the fact that you no longer have diarrhea, now you have normal bowels? No. Might I ask her about that again in the future? Absolutely. Hey, would you mind when I'm talking to other women, I'm not going to mention your name, but I just wanted to say like with my hormone, one of the reasons I do this hormone health program is because it's so important for me to explain how their digestion is going to change when they start to figure out how to, address their hormonal shifts and it throwing off their digestion. I don't need your name. I can use your initials. I don't even need to do that. I just would like to be able to share what you've shared with me. Easy win. Testimonial delivered, right? And she was even a little uncomfortable in the group sharing. It was like, not uncomfortable. I didn't get the sense she personally was uncomfortable, but it was like, should I share? Like, should I start talking about my diarrhea? Like, how do we all feel about talking about our diarrhea? Well, let me be really clear. In a group where we're all investing our time and trying to figure out how we can get healthy, how we help our skin, how we learn to reduce our stress response or optimize our stress response, how we can, do better with our sugar intake, how we can tune up our digestion. In a group like that, it's probably appropriate. We're probably going to feel good on that part, right? And so I think that's so important for us to focus on that. Take that in that moment. There you have something that is shareable, especially as it relates to that particular group or to women who might be going through the same thing, right? What did Becca write? Aw, there you go. Yeah, thank you, my dear. Heart. Sticker for you. Thank you. Becca says, I can give testimony. You are incredible at pushing your fellow colleagues out of their comfort zone and onto awesome stuff. Because you're awesome. Because I am not going to rest until your awesomeness is out there. That's the point. And the point here is for us to make sure that when we are pushing our clients, when we're encouraging them, when we're showing them the way, when we're helping them, when we're personalizing, when we're investing all of our heart and our energy in that part, we want to see those results. We've got to see what those results are. Not just because it helps us figure out where we can go next, but also because we need them to experience success, right? So that goes back to that testimony, please. So thank you so much. I very much appreciate that testimony. So we can grab a testimony pretty easily there, and we can say, in that situation. Now, where it might feel a little bit more difficult is, what if I want to have a testimony that I offer on my website? Or what if I want to have a testimony that I put on my Instagram or my Facebook or use in my marketing? We're going to get to that in a moment. Don't you worry. But one of the other things that I think is so underreported and underutilized as a testimony is sharing with the practitioners that referred your patient their testimony. So in Carrie's instance, if Carrie's practitioner had been if Carrie had been referred to me by a practitioner, why in the world would I not send a note? Of course I can say to her, hey, you just made my night because I am so excited for you. Would you mind? Like, I can email your practitioner. Of course, if you want to reach out to your practitioner and let them know, it can go through you as well. But I just think it's so important that your practitioner actually knows what has gone on in the last 30 days for you. And on that note, I always love to send them the digestive evaluation at the beginning, but now that we're redoing the digestive evaluation, if I sent them that and I sent this note, it would go into your medical file. How do you feel about me sending that over? Ashley, go ahead, totally send it over. By all means, they probably wouldn't even get my email if I sent it, is what the patient is saying. So what have you done there? Oh my gosh, for the win. For those of you that are not generating referrals from other practitioners, and go back to what Dr. Miles Spar said, go back to what I talked about in Virtual Business School, go back to what, when I've had other practitioners on here, we've talked about communication, communication, communication is one of the most important ways to get referrals. And then what Jason always talks about, do not talk about yourself, talk about them. And then what I'll add to it is show them, don't tell them what has changed, right? Oh my gosh, you're sitting there with a testimonial. Digestive evaluation, digestive evaluation. We did 30 days, in over 30 days I did XYZ, here's the evaluation, and here is what she is reporting. And by the way, I'm gonna have her do it for another 30 days, because we all know like 1 month, 2 months, we're on to something, right? So let's see how she does after 2 months on that part. Then we might make recommendations to change your medication or or whatever we're working on, right? When that practitioner gets that from you, you know what they know? They know that you are helping their patient win, and you've shown them how you are doing it, which means you are going to get more clients from that practitioner. So if you are not using assessment and testimonial to get you additional clients from other practitioners, you're making your marketing too difficult. Please make it easier to have your businesses grow. Please, that's what I'm here begging you to do, right? And that's what I'm here showing you to do. It works. I've got tons of examples. I'm going to keep going through them. So another example in your business could be, hey, I really think it would be helpful in marketing my program, you know, the next time I'm running my program, to have some testimonials. You bet it would. So you can ask people, can I use the testimonials that came out of the program? One of the things you can always do at the conclusion of a program, I think it's so lovely, and it also helps your business a bit, because you can send a note and say, hey, I'd love to just know, I'd love to check in with you personally. What was one big win? Is there something you wished I did better? Are you clear about what your better next step is? Because I think this is what it is for you, but just wanted to be, was curious. Haven't seen you sign up for, to work one-on-one with me. Do we need to set up a discovery call? Whatever it is, you can send that in that follow-up email. And when you get that information from that follow-up email, if there's something lovely in there, then you can use that to market your program in the future. You just ask them. And you guys and gals, we don't necessarily need somebody's name and who they are. Initials are fine. Look, if you're going to lie and use fake testimonials in there, you're going to get fake results. Like there could be a little fake it till you make it. Let's say you helped your mom out or you helped a friend out. You still help them get the results. And if they give you the testimonial, totally fine on that part. In that instance, especially if it's your mom and it's the same last name, I'd use an initial. I wouldn't use the name on that part. Just a little bit better, right? But what we can do is in the marketing then, and then when you're sending out your emails, your first email can be describing the digestive tune-up. I'm going to be running it. This is why I do it. The second email can be like, Judy she did not have good skin. She was so frustrated. Her skin was, would get acne flare-ups around the time of her period. She felt like it was blotchy. She was dealing with, puffiness, etc. And when I talked to her, I told her that the skin stuff really needs to be addressed first and foremost with the digestive tune-up. There may be other things. There may be food intolerances. There may be, even things that are touching her face. Like there may be other things we need to address, but I'd love to have her do the 30-day digestive tune-up. Well, Judy did the 30-day digestive tune-up, which is, the program that I was telling you about last week. And she got, personalized nutrition or total nutrition assessment, gave her some supplement recommendations. She did the food stuff. She showed up for the 4 sessions. And here's what Judy had to say. In 30 days, there's a noticeable difference in my skin. The puffiness has gone away. I haven't had an acne breakout, and I've had my period. And coincidentally and kind of nicely, my belly is less bloated, and I've actually taken off 2 pounds. Would you like to be like Judy? Well, I'm running, my 30-day blah, blah, blah. Be like Judy, right? Like be like Mike. There's your testimonial. That's where you can use it. So yes, super valuable to have testimonials on your website, and we'll get to that in a second. But using the testimonial in a story setting is a really valuable way to generate that referral. Now, there's an additional opportunity, and that is to celebrate somebody's success in a way that also hopefully contributes to the growth of your business and be doing that part. So you can do things like, hey, I want to celebrate you. I was going to show, I wanted to put this on my Instagram and tell people, and can I ask you 3 questions? When you were signing up, like, did you think this was possible? What are 2 things that you did and that you're committing to that you never thought you could do before? What's something that you think that surprised you about, about the results here? And what's something that you would tell everybody else on that part? And by the way, if you're doing all of this for me, can I give you a discount on a session? Can I give you, I know that you love those Epsom salt baths. I'd love to send you some Epsom salt. Could I make a donation in your honor? Right now I've been supporting Black Lives Matters, or do you have a favorite bookstore, or do you have a favorite, person of color owned business that I could contribute to because I want to do this and I want to celebrate your success, right? And I'd love to be able to share it. When you do it that way, you're elevating both of you on that part, right? You're saying like, hey, we're celebrating this together. And you're very clear, of course, it's going to help me from a business standpoint, but I'd love to share really you instead of like a before and after photo, right? Before and after photos definitely do things, but you know what? Honestly, most people, what they do is they're a bit of a turnoff because they're like, I don't think that's me. I wonder if it's even real. We all know about airbrushing, right? So I'm not down with those. Like, that's not my favorite kind. If that's your testimonial and you enjoy doing it, by all means. But what I love is really getting into how somebody worked on something and allowing that part, to come out. What's another way you can do a testimonial? You can ask someone in your group if they want to come on and actually talk about it. You know who those people are. You know from the conversations. And some of the other people may surprise you, and they may be interested in talking in your group and talking about certain things. And sharing that. And again, a big thank you, a donation. Maybe you want to give a discount that they can give to one of their friends who might want to be doing the program, or, something like that. Lots of opportunity built in there. So one of the key things, I just want to go back to, we're talking about the testimonial piece. One of the key things we want to focus on is assessment generates testimonials like that. They are testimonials that allow you to show other people how you have helped that person, how that person has succeeded working with you, not how you have helped that person. Notice how that's the wrong language. How that other person has succeeded working with you, and to get specific on what it is they are actually doing. And then from a testimonial standpoint, who should you be sharing it with? Everyone. First of all, most importantly, the person who's giving the testimonial. Make sure that it's imprinted on their brain. Make sure you follow up with them 6 months from now if you haven't heard and said, oh my gosh, you gave such great testimonial 6 months ago. Would you say the same thing today, right? Is this all true today? Because if it's not, I want to touch base with you and I want to, let's pop on a call and see what we need to address on that part. So we want to be doing testimonial there. Then how do you transition those testimonials into your marketing? You do it by making sure that you're sharing the story, that you're using it in marketing to show and and have it be about that person. Make the person be the hero there. It's not about you. Now, what can feel really difficult, or what sometimes can keep the testimony from actually happening, is the person taking the time to write the testimony. This is why assessments are so genius. You don't need them to write the testimony. When you're talking about it in your session, you can say, wait, hold on, I just want to write down a couple of things you just said. I was doing this, or I see this. Wait, I see you went from, oh my gosh, never getting in greens to now you're getting greens in sometimes, and sometimes you were getting an orange, but all the time you're now getting an orange. Okay, can I just, hold on. Okay, that's a great testimonial because, I have a lot of people that feel that they could just never do that. Could I quote, quotes, I can use your initials. I just would love to share that right there. You've just drafted it for them. If you want, say, you know what, can I send you an email afterwards just drafting it? I want to make sure that you're okay with the language and then how I would cite you. And I might say, my patient who's now getting in a rainbow a little bit more often, AN, if her initials were AN, right? So whatever that piece is, but if you draft the testimonial, it's much more likely to get done. And especially in those testimonials that you're going to send over to your practitioners, because then it's practitioner to practitioner who's talking, right? So think about it. You're always welcome to ask somebody to take the first crack at it. Here's the thing, though. If you ask somebody to take the first crack at it, you want to make sure that you are clear about what you want in a testimonial. This comes to me all the time. I write a lot of quotes for people for their books, like not quotes, endorsements, right, on their books. And a lot of times people will say to me, like, they'll send, hey, would you endorse it? Here's the whole book. You can read the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, right. Could you just help me with your marketing? Why'd you write the book? And what's the real win? Like, what endorsement? And by the way, you have other people who are endorsing. So I'd love for mine to stand out. And you know I'm all about assessment and better nutrition, so if I can loop that part in. But do you have a sense of what you really want me to talk about? Great. They'll share it, that I can modify it and put it in my voice. But one of the things you want to make sure that you're telling your clients is, remember, this is not about me. So if you're thinking you're going to write a testimonial like, oh my gosh, Ashley Koff is the greatest dietitian I have ever worked with. I was not pooping before I met her and now I'm pooping. You want to be like, As much as we would love that testimonial to share with our mom and to share with, anytime we're feeling down. And by the way, we can take that one, put it on your mirror, like own it. Okay, yes, greatest dietitian. That's actually not going to move the needle. Somebody's probably not going to call you for that one. What they're going to call you is if you're talking about Judy. If I'm Judy, I battled constipation for so long. In fact, it was so bad that sometimes I couldn't even leave my house, or that I'm embarrassed to admit that I would take a magnesium bath, drink magnesium, smoke a cigarette, go get a colonic, whatever. I was embarrassed about all of these things. And one of the things that I never knew was, I didn't realize how iron can be so constipating. So it was so helpful when we did the assessments, and we did the digestive tuna, or the digestive assessment and the iron assessment, and we ultimately realized that my magnesium bath was really great, and I didn't want to do the cigarettes, and I had quit that, so that I worked on quitting that, etc. But when I learned, actually, I knew I needed to get iron in, but we actually changed the iron. Do you see where I'm going? This is a testimonial that somebody can experience and see themselves in. And that's going to be that better testimonial. So my friends, this is a quick jaunt in, a half hour of power to tell you, first and foremost, get the testimonials. If at minimum, you should be using assessments before, in sessions, and then reassessing right before you see a patient in a session. Once you've used it once, use it later on, at the start of a program, at the end of a program. You should be using these assessments, and then you have ready-made testimonials. And at minimum, you should be sharing that. You should be having your clients share their testimony, give their testimony, write their testimony down, record it, and you guys should be celebrating. And then there's the opportunity to determine if it's something that you want to use in another space. And you can even say to them, you know what, in the future, I might want to actually talk about how this worked for you. I'm not going to use you, not going to use anything describing you. But I just want you to know, are you open? If I went live and I was talking about, I actually should have done this with Carrie because I didn't bring it up with Carrie. So my bad on that part. Hopefully she will forgive me. But in that space, if I had said to her, hey, would you be open? I'm going to be doing a live and I'm going to be talking about constipation. And I think it was so valuable, how you learned. And I just would rather share a story that's from an actual client of, my head. It's easier than just telling people to, oh, be careful, iron and calcium, iron can cause constipation, right? And when you say it that way, they're almost all the time going to be like, oh my God, totally. And you can tell them it's me. Sometimes they'll be like, you can show my picture. Oh, you can tell them I said this. People want their success celebrated. And I know they want to celebrate it themselves. And those people are just like us. We are those people. We want to celebrate our successes too. And so it's really important for you and for your business to also be gathering those testimonials from your individual patients, if for no reason other. I'll be disappointed if we don't use it for any marketing purposes, but if for no reason other than to also have a record for yourself of the wins from your patients, because there will be times when you just don't feel like you're winning, right? And that's such an important time to have those testimonials to look back on. So my friends, I'm Ashley Koff, registered dietitian, and I am here to ask you if there is anything that through this that you're learning about, that you find tremendous value in, if you love using the Better Nutrition tools, if you have found you've had this experience with a client, or you've had an experience, an epiphany for yourself as a practitioner, if there's anything that you would like to offer as a testimonial for the Better Nutrition program and for my services in conjunction with it, we would be so grateful. So definitely share that with us. Share it with other practitioners. We would love that part too. And definitely keep me posted on your progress. If out of this conversation you capture a testimonial, and number one, just if you capture a testimonial, I would love to know about it, because I would love to celebrate you. And if you use that testimonial in any marketing capacity, I would love to celebrate you as well. So I would love to know about that here. You can hit us up at hello@ and let me and the team know, or you can always add it in the comment box here, comment section here, which I know your colleagues would enjoy hearing about on that part too. Just don't get in the mindset that testimonials are a thing that you go and get after the fact, or you need to remember to get, or there's something you use to sell your business, like that. Disconnecting from their actual and their better purpose for you, for your clients, and for your business. All right. I hope everyone has an incredible evening. I'm off to go get that magnesium bath. That's how it was so easy to think about it. And also, I will see you all, I hope, Saturday at 3 p.m. And please, if you have a better Saturday planned, although this is going to be a really fun one, I'm going to be here with Steph Grasso, my old intern, and who's now a dietitian, yay. And she will be going through how to use TikTok. She is a TikTok superstar, which is so fun to have as a dietitian, really showing up there and owning that space. So I love it. And she's going to be providing us all some tips and give some thoughts on what she's done and how she's using it to grow her business and all of those good things. So it should be a really fun conversation. Sally, it was my pleasure. I loved having you here. Becca, everyone else that joined that didn't comment, I appreciate you as well. And you're off probably working on your testimonials, which I hope. Have a great week. Rest of the week, make it testimonial rich. Make sure you've secured a testimony by, let's just say by Tuesday of next week, so that you can share it with me. I'll give you till Thursday, so we get a full week. Share with me the testimonial that you got. All right, everybody, over and out. Take care. Bye.